Mike Downey, thanks a lot for coming down to Has-Beens today. And if you could let the folks at home and on the internet know, why are you running for Humboldt County Sheriff?
Well, I'm running for Humboldt County Sheriff because of my current position as Undersheriff of the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, which I have been for the last 3 years. I have the experience, training, education, and ability to run this office. I am currently the second in command for the Sheriff's Office. With the Sheriff retiring, it's a natural progression for me to go ahead and aspire to be Sheriff of Humboldt County. Again, I'm well equipped to do this job, and I have the vision and foresight for the office to carry it on into the future.
And what would you feel your accomplishments are in terms of your service in local law enforcement and how that's best prepared you for the office of sheriff?
Well, I think I have a very exemplary career in law enforcement. I started here in 1986 as a deputy sheriff. Worked patrol right here out of the main station for a number of, well, 2 or 3 years. Moved on to marijuana enforcement and eradication. Did that for a number of years. Was a field training officer, armorer, firearms instructor. I also, at one point, became a field training officer. I think I mentioned that, and was a sergeant after that for a short period of time. In 1994, I was transferred to Shelter Cove as a resident deputy sheriff. Learned a lot about rural law enforcement while I was there. Was there for about 2.5 years and then promoted to sergeant in Garberville. I ran the Garberville station. I pretty much ran the Southern Command for the Sheriff's Office. Did that for about 7 years. Got a strong foundation in law enforcement from a supervisory standpoint while I was in Garberville. Made a lot of good friends and acquaintances down there. It was a wonderful community to work in. In 2003, I was promoted to lieutenant, where I took my first job as upper level management within the Sheriff's Office. Worked in McKinleyville for about 6 months, ran that office there, and came back to the main station about 2004. Took over as the station commander, or the main station commander for patrol operations out of Eureka. And in 2006, I was promoted to my present rank of Undersheriff, which I've held since then. During that time, I've had numerous training and educational opportunities through Peace Officer Standards of Training and through the State Sheriff's Association in upper level management and executive training. I'm a graduate of Post Command College, which is an 18-month extended learning opportunity. It's graduate level work with a actual thesis component and a published article at the end of that training cycle, and it was very challenging and extensively gave me a strong foundation in the executive end of law enforcement.
Now, of course, Gary Philp, our current sheriff, been in office about 8 years. He ran against his old boss, Dennis Lewis, in 2002 and won. He's stepping down voluntarily. What do you feel about how he served Humboldt County in the last 8 years, and is there anything you'd like to improve on?
Well, I think Gary Philp has done an excellent job. Again, I worked for him basically my whole career. Gary Philp has brought the department to the level it is at now. And again, I believe that this progression of law enforcement is just that. It's a progression. We continue to build. And I believe that my job is to build on the successes of the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office and the successes of Sheriff Gary Philp. You know, my vision is to carry our law enforcement into the next generation. And that means that I want to intensify and rebuild our relationship with the very rural areas of Humboldt County. With the economic downturn, we've had to pull back a little bit. I want to be able to put deputies back into the very rural areas of the county. We're seeing the ability to do that through grant opportunities are coming our way now to increase our ranks, and also even though the budget is bad, we still feel we're going to be funded to a point that we can still provide the services that we always have. And that's the fundamental thing, is providing good service to the community and continuing with the consistency that we've had in the Sheriff's Office. People in Humboldt County are very satisfied with the service they've been getting from the Sheriff's Office. And that's a prime example of that is about 2 weeks ago I appeared before the City Council of Blue Lake. They ratified a 3-year contract with the Sheriff's Office for police services after 2 years of 1-year contracts each. The voice out of Blue Lake is that they're very satisfied and happy with the service provided by the Sheriff's Office. Last week I appeared before the City Council of Trinidad. They also are going for a 6-month to 1-year contract for law enforcement services with the Sheriff's Office. I think that's very indicative of the type of response we're getting throughout the county. Have we always been the best of the best? There's always going to be examples where you're going to find where someone's disgruntled or unhappy with the services they get. But overall, the service of the Sheriff's Department has been great. And my main vision and goal is to build upon that. We're also in the middle of a computer project. We're revitalizing a whole computer project within the Sheriff's Office, something I started 2 years ago. Replacing our records management system, our computer-aided dispatch system, and our jail management system. And that should be completed within the next 1.5 to 2 years. So there's a lot of things that we're doing to upgrade the technology within the Sheriff's Office, and that is also another goal of mine, is to keep us on a technological edge with what is available for law enforcement.
Of course, Mr. Philp was involved in that rather famous case over at then Congressman Frank Riz's office, that whole pepper spray deal, and that got quite a hefty lawsuit against the county. I understand there wasn't much in the way of damages, but that we did have to pay off the lawyers for the other side. Do you feel the Sheriff's Office has kind of moved ahead in the last decade or more since then, and that such an incident's pretty unlikely to be repeated?
Oh, I agree. I think that that's an incident. Obviously, it's in our history. I believe that we have moved beyond that. We continue to, again, I'm going to continue to reiterate the fact that we're providing good service. We have citizens that are seem to be very satisfied with the service they're getting from the county. We continue to be on the cutting edge of everything going on in the county. I think that we're well respected within the county as a law enforcement office.
You mentioned rural law enforcement, getting the substations set up down in Garville and so forth. You feel they're getting adequate levels of service from the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, and what would you do more to try to improve those response times, especially to the really far-flung corners of the county like Orleans, Willow Creek, and so on?
Correct. Right now, Garville is getting 24-hour coverage in the southern area. And one of the nice things about that, we have now deputies traveling from the Fortuna area or Eureka daily, on a daily basis to Garville to meet that mandate. And along with that, we're getting continued and greater exposure along Highway 101 and along the Avenue of the Giants, because we have deputies running back and forth. So these communities are getting more exposure and better coverage from our deputy sheriffs because of the traveling that we're doing back and forth. So these communities are getting touched even more than they did in the past. As far as the more rural areas, you mentioned Oric, Orleans, Bridgeville, those types of areas. Shelter Cove now has a resident deputy. But my plan for those, because of the fact that we're still in tough budget times, is to regionalize these areas and provide a rural deputy to 3 specific regional areas within the county. This rural deputy's responsibility will be to meet the needs of that community on a daily basis, patrolling through these communities. During a work week, he may hit, let's say he's responsible for Oric and Orleans, he may hit those communities once or twice, maybe 3 times during his work week. But the idea is the community can then begin to put a face and a name and a person to the Sheriff's Office, someone they can contact, someone they have confidence in, someone they have a rapport with, and if they have an issue, they can call this person and discuss it with them. That person or that deputy is then a conduit between the community and the sheriff, the community and the sheriff's lieutenant or commander, who's ever in charge of that area. I think this is going to go a long ways, and that's what I'm hearing from the people in these rural communities. They understand, they get it, they know the budget's bad. They know that their opportunities for a rural deputy or for a resident deputy right now are not that great because of things, the way things are. But what I hear more and more is that they want to have a person that they can contact. They want to have a point of contact, someone they have confidence in and build a rapport with to meet those needs of that community. And I think this is one way to do that.